Bruce Lee's only living daughter reveals an awful truth about her father that no one expected. The world has seen action stars like Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and Chuck Norris thanks to kung fu films. Bruce Lee has to be the winner of the title of greatest. Before moving to America and becoming equally famous, he dominated the Hong Kong scene. His skillful maneuvers and distinctive martial arts methods made him stand out. That is, until his untimely and tragic demise. His son suffered a similar fate. His lone surviving child was left to carry on and preserve his legacy. The 1940 San Francisco birth of Lee Jun-fan, the future Bruce Lee, took place. He started honing his acting and martial arts talents as a young actor after his family relocated to Hong Kong the next year. After graduating from the University of Washington in 1959, he went back to the US to teach martial arts. The TV series The Green Hornet gave him his breakthrough role in 1966. His character was Kato, the valiant buddy of the hero. He couldn't wait to perform the part since he had finally discovered one that wasn't shallow or stereotypical. In 1973, he directed, wrote, produced, and performed In the Way of the Dragon, a Hong Kong action film he directed, wrote, produced, and starred in. His final performance was in Enter the Dragon in 1973. It was a box office success in both the United States and Hong Kong. Even now, it is regarded as one of the most influential martial arts films of all time. On July 20, 1973, Bruce Lee passed away unexpectedly at the age of 32. Cerebral edema was determined to be the cause. Although he was buried in Seattle close to his son, he was given a burial in Hong Kong. Prior to his passing, Bruce led a busy life both at work and at home. At the time, he was engaged in other projects, one of which was Game of Demise. He had spent 9 years as Linda Emergy Lee's husband. Their 2 kids were a 4-year-old daughter named Shannon and an 8-year-old son named Brandon. On the day of his demise, he was at the Hong Kong house of his purported mistress, Taiwanese actress Betty Ting Pei. His hectic schedule was enough to give anyone a headache, and he did. He took the pain reliever Equagesic, went to bed, and never awoke. He passed out and an ambulance was called. When he got to Queen Elizabeth Hospital, there was nothing they could do. Charles Sutcliffe, the chief of police in Hong Kong, was among the notable police officers who visited him in the hospital. There are several theories on the true source of the edema that took his life. Experts asserted in the 1970s that he was hypersensitive to Equagesic. His previous use of the medication without any negative side effects makes that theory appear a little off. A forensic scientist appointed to the investigation, Donald Tier, likewise refutes the notion that the Equagesic in his system played a role in his demise. According to more current research, he might have overexerted himself and suffered a heat stroke. In his book, Matthew Polly mentions that he had surgery in 1972 to remove the sweat glands under his arms. In 2022, a completely different theory was proposed. According to Spanish kidney specialists, he drank excessive amounts of water, overloading his kidneys and causing cerebral edema. Brandon, Bruce's son, has a dubious and terrible backstory. He aspired to become a martial artist like his father. After his father passed away, he relocated to Seattle with his mother and sister with the goal of becoming an actress. The Crow was his 10th feature, released in 1994. It arrived at a time when his career was on the rise and was supposed to catapult him to stardom. On March 13, 1993, he passed away on the set of that film, at the age of 28. He lost his life all because of a prop gun. It was supposed to be loaded with blanks, but no one checked it in between takes, so it ended up with a live bullet. The fatality was considered an accident, but it wasn't the only one on the set. Brandon's passing was yet another mystery and tragically early death in the Lee family line. Fortunately, there are still family members who want to commemorate him and his father's heritage. Shannon mostly carries on her father's legacy. She started the non-profit Bruce Lee Foundation. It organizes summer programs where children can learn about his ideology and improve their martial arts skills. Shannon is also making certain that her father's legacy lives on for future generations. All of her efforts to keep Bruce's aspirations alive didn't imply she intended to immediately follow in his footsteps. Initially, taking up her father's specific martial arts style was too traumatic for both of Bruce's children. Shannon eventually did it to feel more connected to him. Entering the world of Hollywood was also too hard for her at first, especially after her brother's passing. That is until she discovered a story her father had imagined in his personal belongings after his demise. It was named Warrior, and it was a drama set in San Francisco's Chinatown. Shannon may not remember much about her father because she was only 4 years old when he passed away. Despite this, she remains attached to him. She can feel his aura surrounding her and recalls how good it felt whenever he paid her even the smallest amount of attention.